Good morning. It's another beautiful day here in the desert. It's a hot one for sure. Gonna get up to 107, so I'm gonna work on this pool early to get it cleaned. Hi, I'm Joffrey Brett. Come along as I clean my pool this morning and show you step by step DIY, do it yourself, an easy process. Come along, take a look, let's get started. So it's time to clean the filter again on the pool. So you first have to turn off the pump, open up the release pressure valve here, wait for it to stop running, and down here in this drain, once the water drains out of it and you can see that it's cleared, you can take that cap off. Remove the cap, and you have a filter in here also. You don't want much debris in here. The less debris you have in here, the better. And that tells you that the filtering system inside the pool is working great, because what ends up here is what doesn't get trapped in the large filter here or the filters in the pool. So the less you have in here, better off it is. I have some seedlings from the bird feeder and a little bit of dog hair and some fibers from the umbrellas that shed fiber in the yard. Not bad. So once you get the drain cleaned out, you can put that back in. Make sure the opening of the hole lines up with the opening coming in from the water line. We got that done. Next thing, get the filter out. Lift up on the clamps, turn this to get it unlocked, slip it off. Then I use a screwdriver to get that pried open. Just makes it easier. Just to get this cap lifted up, because this seals pretty tight. Once it gets suction going on and it's screwed down, it seals it up pretty tight. So the screwdriver just kind of loosens it so you can pull it off. There's your filter. You just get that taken out of there so that you can rinse it. The center will come out. That's the guide that holds the filter in place. Filter out of there and rinse it. Not too bad, but it needs rinsed. All the brown and beige looking residue that rinses out of there is the chlorine that has grabbed onto the debris, the dust, pollens, pulls it into the filter, algae, pulls it into the filter, filters it out of the pool, and then you just rinse it. But you need to rinse this at least once a week in pool season when you're cleaning your pool, servicing your pool. Make sure if you have a pool maintenance people that they're doing this at least once a week. And if they're charging you extra to rinse it because of time, then you need to take the time to find somebody else or do it yourself. Because this is part of pool maintenance. Cleaning your filter. This will keep your water clean and algae free in the summer. You see how clean that gets? Isn't that nice? So this needs to be done once a week. Don't let it go more than 2, or you're going to throw the imbalance off in your pool with chemicals. And what happens to the water in the summer with algae. And then you have a bigger challenge on your hand because you can get chemical lock. Then your pool needs to be drained. You don't want to do that because that's expensive to drain the water out, put more water in. So just do the simple things. Clean your filter. Get your filter back in. All you need to do is make sure that the water in here is a little cloudy, you can see. And it's because the filter needed rinse. That should be clear. But now that it's cloudy with debris, it'll tell you, get that filter cleaned out, or your pool is going to have some challenges when it comes to algae and debris that stays in there. You've got this hole here that lines up in the bottom, and you'll feel it when you put it in there. There's a ridge that it sits on. Move it around, you'll feel it when it locks. Just like that, it locked in place. Now we're going to slip the filter over the top. That simple. Make sure it's pushed down. You can hear the water running back in here. Put your top back on. Make sure you push it down. Seal it back up. Perfect. Make sure your valve is open. And put this cap back on. And it has a open close, so you know where to push it to close it, where to push it to open it. Okay, now we've got it back in place. Let's turn the pump on. And when the water starts to come out of here, the valve, it tells you the water's out of the air is out of the line. You can close this back up, and your pool will start to filtrate properly. Here it comes. There we go. Close it up. Now your pool will start to function properly. Let's get over there. I've already scrubbed the sides down. Let's empty the filters at the pool and get some chlorine in there. You can see in here how the pool is bubbling. It's getting the water out of the line, pushing water through the pump, pulling water through the filter, and removing air out of the line. All right, so let's get this filter emptied. Now I did this last week as well, actually on Friday, so it's only been a few days. But we have had winds, so let's see what's in here and dump it. Not too bad. Now I keep in my basket a rock, which helps keep it put down to the bottom where it belongs. Just gonna empty out what was in there, put it back in, put in my rock and some chlorine tablets. Once this goes on, this pushes the water over the edge of the blue rim down into the filter so it stays trapped down in that basket. Let me get some chlorine tablets. And with it being summer, I put in 2 chlorine tablets because the heat of the sun heats up the water of the pool, which creates more opportunity to get algae. We don't want that. So I make sure I have enough chlorine in the water without overdoing it. 2 tablets at least once a week in the pool. Let's go get this other filter cleaned. This is the leaf catcher that catches debris that floats in the pool along the bottom and cleans it nicely into this filter trap here so it doesn't end up over there at the pump. So let's get that emptied out. Again, easy to do. Put my shoes so I can put my feet in the pool. Oh, my allergies are driving me nuts this morning. Here we go. Isn't that nice? Water temperature is nice. Now when you remove this, you can see perhaps water sucking through this tube. Make sure the tubes stay under the water as you remove the leaf catcher so that you don't put water back in the pool line. It's released. Get the excess water out of there. And then we'll open it up and get everything that's trapped in the net. Pretty simple, really, folks. This leaf catcher is not necessary. Sure saves you a lot of time with pool maintenance and cleaning. Take the top off. There we go. And you can see the debris in there. Now in here, I also keep an empty plastic bottle closed up, which helps this float in the water. If you didn't, it'd sink to the bottom of the pool, which is okay, but I just like it on the surface. So let's dump all this debris out. So the net is dumped. Just going to rinse it a little bit, back in the pool. And then we'll put it back in the catcher and put it all back together. You see all the debris floating in the pool. If you did not clean it, have one of these. That's what you're going to see in your pool. There's some sand in here also. That's from the winds we've had. So this places back inside here. And the top goes back on, which has a rubber seal. You can see how well that seals. Let's do it again. There we go. Got it. Almost. All right, you can feel it pop in place once it seals. Then the top goes back on. It screws on. If it's screwed on all the way like this, you know you've done it right. And then back in the pool it goes. Now I fill this with water first. Get the air out. And then I attach the hose that pulls water through it first. Down here in the water. And I can see that water's going through. Now it's time to put the other hose on. We're back in business for a week. And there it goes, sucking away the debris. Simple process. All right, let's get some chemicals in there. As far as the chemical goes in your pool, you can use what's called shock, which is powder, or you can use the liquid. Chlorine, which is what I've got here. There goes my cap, darn it. Okay. And I've started using the liquid. It's a little bit more affordable and it dissolves quicker. The directions will tell you to add 13 ounces of this to every 13,000 gallons of water. Your average pool like mine is about 13,000, a little less, but it's okay. And it's 5 feet deep at the deep end. If you got a 10-foot deep pool, which some people do, you'll probably want to double that. So we're going to put in 13 ounces of chlorine. Just pour it in. That was 8. And this makes it 13. So in it goes. That's going to kill and dissolve any algae or anything else that wants to live in my pool water. Okay, let me grab my net and we can do some skimming. And at this point you probably said, but Jeff, how do you know your pool needs chemicals and how much? How do you figure that out? Well, I use what's called HTM products. I don't endorse them. They don't endorse me. I just like it. It's easy. They have an app you can download. Right here is the scanner code. Download the app on your phone. And all you do, you take out a pH strip, like so. You dip it in the water, like so. Pull it out and read it. Now, you can match it up to the side here. This is right there. Look at that. Right there's where it's at. I just put the chlorine in. It'll stay there. That is absolutely minimal amount that you should put in there. Maximum ideal is right there. So right about where it needs to be. All right. And the rest of it will tell you the other things that take play in the pool. But you also can test it. Push the button on your phone that says test. Match these colors up to what it says on the phone. Push the button. It'll tell you what you're low on and how much to add. So I use those. You also probably use a skimmer like this for the bottom of your pool. I stopped buying these. As you know, these can run anywhere from $300 to $800 and up for a skimmer. I quit buying them. The reason I quit buying them is it seems like after a year or so, they break. All the components are plastic and they break. So I stopped buying them. I bought what you see crawling here on the bottom of my pool now. The blue rubber thing on the bottom, it's a disc. How I know that works is because I use it. And if you see the white ring on the blue tube, you see how it wiggles back and forth? That's showing me that it's moving and sucking on the bottom of the pool. So it's going to pull debris off the bottom of the pool. That baby cost me only, I think, $90 is what it cost, which is a lot cheaper than $300 to $800. So I've had that now. This is our second summer, and no issues. I would recommend it and buy it again. I found it on Amazon. All right, now I'm going to take my net and skim the top of the pool to get any remaining debris off. Sides of my pool earlier before I turned on my camera, but I got some stuff here on the platform I want to get off. Some leaves and all that have dropped. I've already brushed all this, but I'm going to do this again to get those into the deep end off this ledge. Now when you brush your pool, you'll see like a trail of dust in front of you as you brush. Once a week, once every 2 weeks, twice a week, whatever you do. I recommend at least once a week. That is sediment that is settled onto your pool, and if you don't get it removed out of there, eventually it'll build up and you'll get an imbalanced chemical in your pool and the chance of growing algae. So I'm just going to skim off now things that are in the water on the top. Since I've done all the removing of the filters and cleaning them, some of the stuff got back in the water, which is fine. The filters will take them out. I just want to rush it along so it looks good, and there's no sense to put that back in my filters when I can do it like this. Now, I've got a small hand net, and Kevin and I often use that at night when we're in the pool. With it being so hot during the days, we've not been in it so much because the sun has been at 12, which is extreme. So we've not been in the pool as much during the day, but we certainly have been coming out here at night. Pool companies make it seem more difficult, make you think you can't do it, so therefore you'll hire them. All right, guys, take on your day. Thanks for watching. You can do it. Come along. Let me show you how.